Hello everyone, this is Maria from LittleKnits, and today I will show you how to knit this bonnet. This is my Claire bonnet, and it's perfect for a newborn baby girl. Easy to knit if you are a beginner, and even if we have here this lace panel, this is very easy to knit. It's a 4-row repetition, but here we have only 6 rows. We have here an edge border from chains made with this crochet hook. Now let's see the yarn for the Claire bonnet. So this is the Claire bonnet. See? 2 different yarns and beautiful texture here. Okay, so for this bonnet I will use this yarn. This is Estivo 2 from Lana Grossa. It's a little bit fuzzy, easy to knit, very soft. Let's see the gauge for this yarn. Okay, so this is the gauge. So 19 stitches by 24 rows. You should have a square of 10 by 10 centimeters or 4 inches with needles US 8 or 5-6 millimeters, but I will not use US 8. I will use US 3 needles. And so this is the main yarn for the bonnet. For the lace panel, I will use Maxi Sugar Rush from Shibji's. Very beautiful. And let's get started by casting on 60 stitches on US 3 needles. If you want to make the border with the main yarn, you should leave a long tail, very long tail for the border. But this time I will make this group of chains with the same yarn I will use for the lace panel. So cast on 60 stitches on needles US 3. Also, if you don't have this yarn, this panel lace is a multiple of 3 stitches, and you can adapt whatever yarn you have. You can, if you have a thicker yarn, you can cast on 53 or 49 stitches, depend on the yarn that you will use for this bonnet. Again, cast on 60 stitches. So 1, don't pull tight here because we don't want to have problems with our border. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 'I got my 60 stitches. I will make a knot here. The first row is purl, just purl. I will work with this tail for a couple of stitches. So row 1, we purl every stitch until we reach the end of the row. So purl. I almost reach my end of the first row. So row 1, purl. Row 2, knit all the stitches. Knit. Row 2, knit. So I've done row 2. Now, before we start to knit, to make the row 3, we need to change the yarn. So this is my tail from the first row. I will cut this, and also I will cut the main yarn, leaving a little bit of tail so I can sew it at the end. And now we start row 3 with the yarn that we are using for our lace panel, and the row 3 is purl. We leave here a little bit of tail. So row 3, we purl with the yarn that we are using for the lace panel. So purl until the end of the row. Now we start with row 4. On row 4 we knit 2 stitches, 1, 2, and from now on this will be our repetition. Yarn over, knit 3 stitches, 1, 2, 3. Then we need to pass the 3 stitch over the second and the first stitch over the second and the third stitch. Again, yarn over, knit 3, 1, 2, 3, pass the first knit stitch over the second and the third, and again yarn over, knit 3, we pass the first stitch, yarn over, knit 3, pass the first stitch over the second and the third, yarn over, knit 3, we passed the first stitch, yarn over, knit 3, pass over, yarn over, knit 3, again we pass the first stitch over the second and the third, yarn over, knit 3, this is my yarn over, this one, and these are my 3 stitches. So I pass the first stitch over the next 2 stitches, yarn over, knit 3, pass the first stitch over the next 2 stitches, yarn over, knit 3, and pass the first stitch over the next 2 stitches. So this will be our repetition until we reach the end of the row. I'm almost done with row 4. I have 4 stitches left on my left needle. So yarn over, knit 3, and pass the first stitch over the next 2 stitches and end the row with knit 1. So this was our row 4. Row 5, oh sorry, on row 5 we purl all the way. So purl until you reach the end of the row. So I've done row 5. Now we start working row 6 by knit 1, and then we start our repetition for row 6. So the repetition is knit 3, 1, 2, 3, pass the first stitch over the next 2 stitches, and then yarn over. Again, knit 3, 1, 2, 3, and pass the first stitch over the next 2 stitches. Again, yarn over, knit 3, 1, 2, 3, and pass over the first stitch over the next 2 stitches. I have a problem to catch the first stitch. Okay. Again, yarn over, knit 3, 1, 2, 3, and pass over the first stitch over the next. I don't know why this is happening. Over the next 2 stitches. Again, yarn over, knit 3, and pass over the first stitch over the next 2 stitches. So this is our repetition until the end of the row. Yarn over, knit 3, and then pass the first stitch over the next 2 stitches. I will come back when I will reach the end of the row. I almost done my row 6. I need to make one more repetition of knit 3, pass the first stitch over the next 2 stitches, yarn over, and knit 2 stitches. So this was the row 6. Row 7, just purl. So on row 7 we purl every stitch. I will let you to purl row 7, and I will come back and work with you row 8. I've done my row 7, and now we start to knit row 8. Row 8 is actually a repetition of row 4, which means that we start by knitting 2 stitches, then we yarn over, we knit 3, and then we pass the first stitch over the next 2 stitches, and again yarn over, knit 3, and pass the first stitch over the next 2 stitches, yarn over, knit 3, pass the first stitch over the next 2 stitches, yarn over, knit 3, pass the first stitch over the next 2 stitches, yarn over, knit 3, pass the first stitch over the next 2 stitches. So this will be our repetition until the end of the row. I almost done row 8. I need to make one more repetition of yarn over, knit 3 stitches, pass over the first stitch over the next 2 stitches, and then knit 1. So this was row 8. Before to start row 9, we need to change our yarn. We need to cut the yarn that we used for the lace panel, leaving a tail, and bring back our main yarn. Now we start with row 9, and the row 9 is a purl row, so we need to purl, but I want to make a knot with these two, sorry, and purl some stitches together with these 2 tails. Another knot, okay. Now this is my method. You can use your method. So row 9, we just purl until we reach the end of the row. I will show you after our row 9 how beautiful the lace panel is. So row 9, purl, we purl the yarn over 2. See, this is the yarn over from the previous round. We purl, I hope you will enjoy knitting this bonnet. As I said, it's very easy. If you are a beginner, nothing to be afraid of. There is nothing complicated. Almost done with row 9. This was row 9, and this is how our bonnet looks so far. See? Now, so we made 9 rows until now. From now on, you need to work in stockinette stitch another 20 rows, and I will come back and start the decrease part. So from now on, you knit in stockinette stitch another 20 rows here, from here to here, and this is where I start to decrease. Remember that I decrease in round, and if you don't like to decrease in the round, you can decrease back and forth, and at the end you can sew here for about 1 inch. But for me, it's more easy to decrease in the round. I don't see very complicated this method. So knit in stockinette stitch another 20 rows, and I will come back to work with you the decrease part. I've done with my 20 rows in stockinette stitch. Look how beautiful it turned out. Now we will start the decrease part. First row of decrease. On the first row of decrease, we knit 8, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, and then we knit 2 stitches together. This is the repetition until the end of the row. So knit 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, and then knit 2 together. This is the repetition until the end of the row. Knit 8 and then knit 2 stitches together. This is row 1 of my decrease. I end up with knit 2 stitches together. Now for row 2 we purl. Okay, we are at row 3 of our decrease. I need 2 more needles because we will divide the stitches for knitting in the round. So we start by knit 7, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and then knit 2 stitches together. One more time for the first needle. Knit 7, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and then knit 2 stitches together. This is the first needle. Now I will pick one, the second needle. Same, knit 7, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and 7. Then knit 2 together. One more time. Knit 7, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and then knit 2 stitches together. This was my second needle, and my third needle. Same repetition. Knit 7, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and 7. Now knit 2 together. And our last repetition. Knit 7, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and then knit 2 stitches together. From now on, we knit in round. So this was row 3 of our decrease. Row 4. On row 4, we knit. So the first stitch will tie so we can close the gap between the last and the first stitch. So row 4 of our decrease, we knit this is my second needle. And finally, the third needle. And then we can say we complete row 4. Okay, so this was row 4. On row 5, we start by knitting 6 stitches. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and then knit 2 together. Again, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6, and again knit 2 together. This is the repetition until the end of the row. So this is row 5, and the next row, row 6, we will knit. I almost done row 6, which was a knit row, and now we will start row 7. On row 7 we start by knitting 5 stitches, 1, 2, 3, 4 and 5. Then we knit 2 stitches together. Once again we knit 5, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and then we knit 2 together. This is the repetition for row 7. Okay, so knit 5, knit 2 together until the end of the row, and row 8 we knit. I will come back for row 9. We are at row 9 of our decrease, and we start by knitting 4 stitches, 1, 2, 3 and 4, and then knit 2 stitches together. Again, knit 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, and then knit 2 together. So this is the repetition of row 9. Knit 4 and then knit 2 together until the end of the row, and row 10 we just knit. I just finished my row 10. Now we start to knit row 11 of our decrease by knitting 3 stitches, 1, 2, 3, and then knit 2 stitches together. Knit 3, 1, 2 and 3, and then knit 2 stitches together. So this is row 11. This is the repetition. Knit 3 stitches, then knit 2 together. And the row 12 we just knit. Okay, row 13 we start the row 13 by knitting 2 stitches and then knit 2 stitches together. This is the repetition of row 13. So knit 2, knit 2 together. Again, knit 2 stitches and then knit 2 stitches together. Knit 2, knit 2 together. One more time. Knit 2. Oops, I lost one stitch. Okay, so I have 2 stitches here, and then knit 2 together. Knit 2, knit 2 together. This was row 13. Now the last row, row 14, we knit 1 and then knit 2 together. Knit 1, knit 2 together. This is the repetition until the end of the row. So knit 1, knit 2 together, knit 1, knit 2 together, and again knit 1, knit 2 together, knit 1, knit 2 together. This was row 14 of our decrease, the last row. Now we need to cut the yarn, leaving a small tail so we can close the stitches. We need a needle yarn needle. Let's see. to pick up on the yarn needle our 12 stitches, because we end up with 12 stitches. So I have 4 stitches on my first needle, another 4 on my second needle, and another 4 stitches on my third needle. Now we need to close here. Probably I should choose white for this tutorial. But I hope you can see without problems this tutorial. Okay, we need to make knots to secure the yarn. We turn the bonnet. This is the back side of the bonnet, and secure the yarn here and there. One double knot here, and I will make another one just to be sure that the yarn is secured. Okay. Where am I? Here. One more. Double knot. And this is it. Now we need to wave those tails, and then we can start to crochet the edge of the bonnet, the front edge. Okay, so I cut here. Now we have this yarn here. I have 2 strands here, and okay. So just wave it between a couple of stitches, like this. Easy. Cut here. And we have 2 more tails that we need to secure. And I will come back and start to crochet the edge of the bonnet, this part, this here. Okay, so let's start to crochet the edge. I have a crochet hook US 1 or 2.5 millimeters. We start by attaching the yarn in this corner. Leave a tail so we can sew. And now we will make chain 4, 1, 2, 3, and 4. We skip one stitch and make slip stitch in the next stitch. Okay, so chain 1, 2, 3, and 4. Skip one stitch and make a slip stitch in the next stitch. Okay, so chain 1, 2, 3, 4, skip one stitch and make a slip stitch in the next stitch. This is the repetition until we reach the end of the row. So chain 4, slip one stitch, slip stitch in the next stitch. Chain 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, skip one, slip stitch in the next stitch. Chain 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, skip one stitch, slip stitch in the next stitch. See? Again. Chain 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, skip one stitch, slip stitch in the next stitch. Chain 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, skip one stitch, slip stitch in the next stitch. So this is the repetition until the end of the row. I will come back and make the 2 ties. I've done my crochet edge. Now I need to weave this last tail, and then I can make the ties. For this bonnet I choose to do braided ties like this. So let's see. Okay, we need 2 large strands. We fold in 2. No, I need 1 more. So we have 3. Fold in 2. And attach here. Same the next one. So you can leave like this, or you can braid it. Let's see how the white Claire fits on my mannequin head. I know many people says that this is creepy, but when you make newborn props, this head is actually perfect. This is from Standing Baby. Okay, so this is Claire Bonnet. Okay, this is the bonnet. This is how it fits. If you want to have more depth here, you can work another 4 rows of stockinette stitch. So instead of 20 rows of stockinette stitch, you can work 24 and then start the decrease part. It depends on how you like. So this is it. I hope you will enjoy to knit my Claire bonnet. Please like the video. If you really like the tutorial, you may subscribe, you may share this video, you may comment this video. Thank you very much, and I will see you next time with another easy tutorial on how to knit a newborn bonnet. Thank you very much. Bye bye.